May 13th, 2024. I am at Joel Pearl. It's time to get in the weeds. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and a nice, relaxing Sunday, whether it was Mother's Day or you were with your mother-like figures, or maybe you just hung out on your own and did your own thing. We hope it was a good weekend. Jeremy Lambert's with me. Hello, Jeremy Lambert. How are you?
I'm well, Joel. We went to a park yesterday for Mother's Day, right? Myself, the wife, the 12 kids.
The 12 kids, of course.
Yes, and we were walking. I didn't do this, but I wanted to. I'm gonna get in trouble for already just getting myself in trouble here.
Welcome to Mondays. That's what we do. We get ourselves in trouble.
Yeah. So we're walking at the park, and of course it's Mother's Day and everything, and this other couple walks by and they're like, "Oh, happy Mother's Day," they said to the wife, because I mean they see 12 kids, they're just like, "Oh well, gotta be a mother." This is how my brain works, which is stupid. I'm very stupid. My brain just wanted to say, "Oh, they're not ours," and then just see what kind of reaction I got from those people. I didn't say that. That's how my brain works.
Oh God, you should have been like, I don't know where these ones came from.
That's how my brain works, and I just wanted to know. I just wanted to see. I had the overhead light on. I'm not prepared for this show at all here. No wonder.
You want to go turn off the overhead light?
Yeah, let me turn off the overhead light.
I'll put dollars to donuts that what we talked about before the show is the overhead light.
Oh, you think so?
Let's find out.
I think it's my headphones and like the way it's plugged into my microphone. Did that change anything?
No, it's still the same.
It's weird. I think like it's my headphones are kind of like acting up, so that's not great. Hopefully they're fine. Hopefully my mic is fine. I feel like it's more mic than headphones, but
it'll be fine.
No, we'll see.
The bit, yeah,
yeah, it is.
I want to spend 20 minutes in your brain. Like I don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But sometimes I do. Like,
no.
Oh man. Real quick, we got to.
I don't want to spend 20 minutes in my brain. I don't want to spend 5 minutes in my brain. All right.
Fair point. I get it. Ryan Lambert sent a super chat saying, "Can't stay. Just wanted to show y'all the usual love." Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Monday morning. And hey, if you haven't already, it's early, but we'll say it again. Leave a thumbs up in the video, and of course, you can get the fireworks going. Fireworks, let's go! Yeah, that's the fastest they've ever shown up.
I don't think fireworks. So, but
yes. Well, that we've meant to have them show up. Subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked. We drop content every single day. Yesterday, the Indeed interview with Nyla Rose and her mother dropped. So go check that out. It's a wonderful interview. They sat down and just you know what? Just go watch it. Just go watch it. Go watch that. Go watch Wrestling Made Me Cry. Go watch all the stuff that we dropped over the weekend and plenty more coming here on the channel. Jeremy and I, we chatted with. Do you want to say it? We may as well. We
said it. We've already said it. Yeah.
Yes,
well, Billy Pumpkins.
Yes, Billy. We had a chat. We had a conversation with William Patrick Corgan and his wonderful wife, Chloe. Listen, all cards on the table. It was only 10 minutes. We basically got, maybe 4 questions in total, but we got cocaine scoops.
I did ask. I said I would ask. I did ask. That's the first question that I led with. I was like, there were reports that CW was not happy about this. He clarified all of that. He gave the NWA side of it, and I guess technically the CW side of it, and then like a complete mark and shill. And NWA pays very well, let me tell you, paying cocaine. I told him we need more cocaine spots in wrestling. I thought this was great.
The best part is Jeremy is not kidding. This is in the interview. You can see it. He said we need more of this silly cocaine shit in wrestling. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that spot. Look, what was the most talked about thing from that promotion in like the last year besides Tyrus, which wasn't good, but what was the most? It was that spot. Nobody else is paying any attention to NWA right now. No offense to them, but like no one's paying attention. to the promotion. Everyone is paying attention off of that cocaine spot. We need more. We need more.
It's funny because that's like the only real wrestling question we asked. Everything else was
more or
you know,
less.
I asked him about the new Pumpkins guitar player. I asked Chloe if she wanted to like ditch her wedding when she was planning it and just do $1,000 wedding. Like it's a fun little interview. Whenever we approach these, I know that I try to be as like different as possible, and I think I've learned that from just like from Jeremy and from also other people who do a lot of interviews. It's like, what little questions are you going to ask is going to differentiate you from other interviewers or other people, and then get you recognized maybe or noticed the next time you sit down and have a chat with those people. And this was one of those moments where it was a fun 10 minutes with Billy Corgan and his lovely wife. So go check that out when we drop it. We're hoping today it's going to come down and have a good time with
Better
it, right?
be today. I've already told the people that it's today, Joel.
Did you? All right. Well, that means I have something to do after we go off the air. Have you looked at the video?
No, I listened to the audio because I did the notes for it.
Okay, so I'll double check the video, make sure that it's just the 3 of us on screen and not the 27 people that were on the Zoom call.
Yeah, that might be a little tough. Well, you know, we'll see how the video turns out, but I've not looked at it. No, sorry.
There will be some editing. We will be okay. The editing being like if we have to reframe people on the screen. But doing production notes on the air, but it's okay. Hey, if you haven't already, donate a super chat. Any get your question or statement read on the air as well. Caden sent us one saying, I followed Jeremy's sacred advice yesterday.
Shut the fuck up. I feel like that's my stick. Yeah, I got a lot of sacred advice, I feel like, but that's certainly I don't know. I was offline most of yesterday, so I have no idea what the conversations were about, what was going on. But regardless, everyone should.
I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do if I don't have no army. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I spent Mother's Day with the kid, largely offline. Took him in the morning so this is funny. There's a jungle gym that we sometimes go to, an indoor jungle gym. And he was like, yeah, let's go. And then I got into the jungle gym. And before we paid to get in, thankfully he did this before we paid. It's $5, but whatever. He's like, no jungle gym, no jungle gym. I was like, okay, what do you want to do? He's like, library. And I'm like, all right, you want to go to the library? Yeah. So we go. My kid is a reader. He's growing up in the library. We have, I kid you not, like the Toronto Public Library sells cloth bags, like reusable, nice tote bags. We have like 5 of them. Okay, we just do. We are library people. I will admit this. So my kid is like library. But now on a Sunday, the Toronto Public Library, the branches that are open don't open until 1 o'clock, and it's now 9:30 when he starts this. Thank the Lord, we have a library in our building that's just filled with books. So we were able to do that and have a nice morning. And then we went to the museum in the afternoon. Am I a nerd? Jeremy Lambert, I'm a giant nerd. Oh my God.
I mean, I've actually told you this a long time ago. Do you guys got like the little library? It's like a built like
the post house. You open the door and it's got
take one, leave one.
So we don't, because we live in a building, right? We live in a condo. But like if you walk around our area, there's a few of those around. Little libraries.
All right.
I've never taken from them. My wife has. I've never done it.
Okay. I didn't know. We had them in North Carolina. I've seen them. We actually saw one yesterday in Ohio. So like I did not know if this was like a universal thing or if it was just in America or just certain parts of America. Truthfully, didn't know.
It exists. It definitely exists. I'm sure people in chat will attest to them. Louis, say I leave the dirty books in those.
Like what kind of dirty books? Like the books are all like worn down, or you just read like sex books?
Yeah, that is the.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Yes. There you go. Caden says they haven't down the street.
Joel.
Yeah.
Milf Manor last night.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, yeah. By the way, yes, my kid is speedrunning growing up. It's very strange, let me tell you. Yes, Milf Manor, and then we can tackle the other super chat because that's actually wrestling. Go ahead. I'm all ears.
It was Mother's Day, so obviously we had to have a big episode of the Milf. Kelly is back. Kelly is back, everybody. Kelly from season 1. Oh, they brought her back. They had to bring her back. So we weren't sure when the season started. Like, did they like record this season while the first season was airing, so people didn't know what they were getting into or whatever. Turns out that just none of these people watched season 1 except for one person, because one person, Barbie, who is the stripper, got to make sure I always say that, Barbie the stripper, she watched season 1. So when Kelly came back, she knew who Kelly was. Barbie was like kind of excited, but not really, because she knew Kelly was big personality. So Barbie knew who Kelly was. Kelly is back. Last night was the tantric sex yoga with Kelly, the dad, and the son is traumatized. Oh my God. That man walked back into the house and he looked like a zombie going back into this house. He just had a blank stare. He was just like, I don't even know if this was fun. I don't know what I just did. He could not say 3 words. He was traumatized. And one of the women, the girl whose butt that he bit, was like upset. Like, why didn't he talk to me when he came back? He just kind of ignored me. He was traumatized, lady. That's why he didn't talk to you. That man couldn't make out heads and tails of who was actually in that room with him. He didn't recognize you. He thought you were some other zombie out there. That's why I didn't talk to you. Get over yourself, lady. Amazing episode. Oh, the big twist here. By the way, there's no FMC tomorrow, everybody, because other people have other stuff going on. So like, I gotta get it all out right now. The big twist here is one of the ladies has a boyfriend. She came into this house with a boyfriend.
No.
And she got confronted. Oh yeah, she got confronted by Kelly. Kelly is like, bitch, you got a boyfriend? You got a boyfriend? You got a boyfriend? She asked like 15 times. She's like, just answer the question. Answer the question. And then, no, I'm waving my hands all that I want. Anyway, answer the question. Just do it. Just answer it. And then this lady was not happy being confronted about this. And then next week, we'll see kind of the follow-up from it. My God, what an episode last
You know, the follow-up is going to be something like, we're in an open relationship, and everyone's going to be like, oh, okay.
I don't think it's an open relationship. I think that she had a boyfriend and then she still just got picked for the show and was like, let me come on here. But what's hilarious about this is she tells one person, she tells the lady who got her butt bit because she was all down and everything because Joey wasn't paying attention to her and all this stuff because he was a zombie. So she tells her, she's like, oh yeah, like the reason I'm not really feeling these guys is because I got a boyfriend and just like, you know, I got picked. I wanted to come through the process and just see how it played out and everything. But that's why I've been kind of reserved and not feeling. And then the lady who was told this information is like, oh, wow, that's like really, you know, hard to hear. Like, thanks for telling me. Like, I appreciate it. Like, what are you going to do? She's like, I don't know. I think I'm going to stick around. She's like, oh, okay. She's like,
she told everybody, didn't she?
Oh, yeah. She's like, don't tell anybody, you know. And then the lady's like, oh, don't worry. I'm not going to tell anybody. Like, it's okay. Like, your secret is safe with me. Next scene. So anyway, I was just told that this lady has a boyfriend. What should we do about it? And of course, that lady tells everybody else. And then it comes into this big confrontation. She didn't wait 30 seconds to go tell anybody else. Same night. The moment she left that room, she was telling somebody.
Good Lord.
That's your Milf Manor recap, everybody. Yeah, waving my arms around, Kate, in there.
Sure. Waving your arms around. Oh my God. Well, thank you for that. I mean, yeah, no FMC tomorrow, so that's good to know.
Yes, people, I'm sure, super disappointed that there's no FMC. Watch Andrew Zarian and Rich at 10:30 on this show, or not this channel, but the other channel.
Nah. Actually, no, they're good. I like their show. It's pretty good. Well, I mean, they kind of like speed run through it and talk about, and then like the last half hour they do a Q&A, which is always very funny because, you know, Q&A.
And people got dumb questions.
People, no offense, people do have dumb questions. I was thinking about
stupid.
People, yeah, people have questionable morals and questionable.
That's what PBS stood for, everybody. People be stupid. That's why they aired like educational stuff. Is people are just dumb.
And now the Learning Channel has become
the Learning Tree.
Learning Tree.
The Learning Channel has become just the worst people in the entire friggin' world.
That's how it's basically the anti-Learning Channel. It's like, do not do what people.
Yeah, I was saying it teaches you how not to act. I think. is the part that they're not explicitly saying that, but that's like the point. It's like, hey, the learning channel, but you're learning how not to act on this channel instead of learning how to act.
Yeah.
It's deep level thinking here by TLC.
Much prefer Why Soulable, can confirm, and people, and stupid. I don't think Why Soulable is stupid. I actually like Why Soulable. I like our chat. We've talked about this.
If you're listening to this show, you're dumb as hell. The people who host this show, we're dumb as hell.
Dumb as hell. Like, we do not deserve the platform we have, but guess what? Ain't nobody gonna take it from us.
Well, somebody might.
It's true, somebody might. But he's just one guy. What's he gonna do? Come to Toronto and fight me for a Fightful championship? No.
You
can't even get into the country
for once.
What are you talking about? I defend it all the time.
Why do I have so many Skype notifications?
Oh man, I guess Jimmy's trying to tell you to watch the show.
No, so I got added. Riveting radio here.
I'm here for it.
I got added to something. I got just randomly randomly added to like Skype group chat. I don't even know how this is like possible, but Anderson Million Club. What you need to know about the Forex news on Monday. What the fuck does this mean?
It's a what do you call it? Forex is one of those Bitcoin bullshits.
I don't know why I got randomly added to
report this. It, block it, get out of it.
I'm blocking it. Yeah, Forex trading. I don't.
Yeah, it's like whenever these YouTube channels get hacked, that's like what people. That's the video that goes up is all about Forex garbage.
Oh. But I just got like 15 notifications. Like, I don't want this stuff.
Yeah, somebody probably found your email and just added you to the group willy-nilly.
That's unfortunate. I get like alerts of like, hey, what's new on Skype today? I was like, when did Skype become like a news outlet? I thought you just like...
Well, it all falls under the Microsoft tree. So because they want to edge everybody to more stuff.
That's not the type of edging I like.
No, I don't think most people enjoy that type of edging. They're more of a Adam Copeland type of edging.
Not my fault, a rare beast. Not my fault. This is how we used to communicate on Fightful.
Can confirm. That was a Jimmy Van thing.
Yeah. It's friggin' Skype. And then I was like, no. I told Sean, like, why are we using Skype? Like, we got to find a better system. And then I forced us to move to Slack.
Smart. Slack
Friggin'
is a superior program to deal with in this case.
Jimmy Van with his Skyping.
That's how we ran Know Your News as well.
I don't get it.
Neither do I, but it doesn't matter.
That's the only thing that's still on my phone. I would delete it if it wasn't for that. But you know, we're getting a lot of errors on our website here lately. So we got to like communicate every time we get an error, which there's been a lot of communication. There's been a lot of errors, unfortunately.
Seems like there's fewer communication and fewer errors as a result, or both, the other way around. Fewer errors, therefore fewer communications.
Well, there's people on the front end don't see all of this, but like the back end stuff, it can be a pain to deal with sometimes.
Not me though. I never make mistakes. I've never misdated a video. I've never made any errors.
Like whatever, like those mistakes happen.
I know
like,
those are easy.
We just get like these like random errors where like posts aren't posting. And
oh
stuff.
Yeah, I've had that before where I've had like background Cloudflare stuff. Yeah, okay.
Oh
so
yeah.
Now we're having production meetings about the website on here.
Yeah.
It still works though. Everything still gets changed.
Yeah, like
strange like timeout issue.
They're still popping up though, and it's very frustrating, especially when you do as many posts as I do. Like if you're only doing like one post or something, like fine, you're not dealing with it all the time. You know, trying to cover 5 shows on a Saturday night and getting these errors. Ooh.
There's a lot of wrestling on over the weekend.
Yeah, it sucked.
So I went to Greektown Wrestling on Friday.
Sorry.
I had a good time. First of all, thank you to the Greektown crew. They're always very accommodating and very, very kind to me. I went in hoping to get a few interviews. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do any sit downs for a few logistical reasons. However, the good news is no chairs. The lighting was also very suspect in that the lights were out for most of the night. With that, like they have their own lighting that they have around the ring and stuff. But like in terms of where
That gimmick has run its course. They got to stop it.
The lights out thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was more of a COVID thing, right?
No, they just be doing those lights out, like all the lights out, and now old Malachi is in the
Oh
ring.
yeah, no, we had
and the
they,
lights
they
are
had the
out.
party lights. No, they had the party lights. The lights were never totally out. Anyway, it was a good time. I do appreciate the Greektown folks for inviting me and welcoming me and always being very accommodating with me. Got to speak to a lot of really fun wrestlers, some that you know and some that you haven't. Mike Santana was on the show. Elijah, the former Elias, was on the show. Had a great 4-way match for the Greektown Cup. If you check it out, Bill Collier, who goes by Big Time Bill Collier on the Indies, he's the Greektown Cup champion. In that 4-way, he got 3 men up and basically did a big overhead suplex on them. Like, that's Elias, Trent Gibson, and then there was a third guy that I'm totally blanking on, but like big dudes on Bill Collier's arms and shoulders, and he just flip them up and over. Very impressive stuff. So shout out to that. And Trey Miguel had a really good showing with Derek Dillinger. He filled in at the last minute for Masha Slamovich, who couldn't make it, and Allison Kay. So this was fun. Allison Kay was a last-minute addition for a cage match against Katie Arquette. Originally, it was supposed to be Lady Frost against Katie Arquette, and then Lady Frost got pulled. And I said the only reason Lady Frost is getting pulled is because she has another booking for another televised wrestling company, and it's either going to be CMLL or she's going to be going to Vancouver for AEW. Lo and behold, Saturday night, the graphic shows it's Deonna Purrazzo versus Lady Frost, and I'm like, oh, that's why. So AK and Katie Arquette had a great cage match. This is all on Triller Plus. If you do not subscribe to it already, you get a lot of wrestling there, but Greektown is one of those companies that you do get to see. And go check them out. They have been growing at such an amazing pace over the last 5 years. They sell out all of their shows, if not almost all of them, and they bring in great talent. They have great people working behind the scenes there. Just felt the need to put them over because it made for a fun Friday night. Santana dropped the belt to Channing Decker. He is the new Greektown champion. Santana had a good run while he did. So fun time, fun Friday night. And then SmackDown happened.
Why are we still talking about wrestling?
I mean, I was more like talking about my experience at a wrestling show. It was less about the wrestling.
That's even worse that you went to a wrestling show.
I went willingly, first of all.
Yeah, you're not helping your case here. That you went willingly.
That's true. I did go. I went for work. I had to go. I forgot my wallet. That was the worst part. I forgot my wallet.
Oh yeah, I saw that you brought all your equipment and stuff, and you forgot your wallet.
Forgot my wallet. And in that area, not a lot of places that don't take credit card, or that do take credit card, I should say. Made for an interesting evening.
It would have been funny if they didn't let you in the building. You don't have your ID on you.
So this is the best part. So I came in through the talent entrance because there's 2 entrances. There's the main entrance.
They should have kicked your ass, Joel.
Well, the reason why was because I came in with Steve Argentaro, who we talk about often on the show. He gets us certain interviews with wrestlers for different companies coming through Toronto, and Steve was on his way in, and we were just chatting. He's like, yeah, come in. And it was like, no problem. Again, the staff and the talent know who I am for the most part when I come into these shows at Greektown. But yeah, there were only 2 entrances. So at one point I'm hanging out in an area that's upstairs looking down, and I went to go use the bathroom, which is beyond whatever curtain area they have. The people who were doing stamps and stuff had not seen me to this point. So they had no idea that I had checked in or anything. So the guy's like, do you have your stamp? I'm like, I've been here since 5 o'clock. And he's like, do you have your stamp? Well, the doors opened at 6. So the guy's like, oh, who are you with? I'm like, I'm with media, and he lets me in. But it was like one of those moments where I was like, what? Oh shit, that's right. You don't know I'm here.
You could have lied.
I should have said
this is terrible security. They should have done a better job checking you here.
I should have said that I was Joe Gacy and I was working the show tonight as a secret. Could have done it.
Chubb's ass security there, Greektown.
Yeah, well, Did I eat Greek food? Unfortunately, I didn't, because they were not in the traditional Greektown area of Toronto on Friday. They will be back in the church that they normally run probably in the next couple of months or later. I'm trying to think. They normally would run the second weekend of July, but that's Money in the Bank, I think.
I thought Money in the Bank was first weekend of July.
Oh, it is. You're right. So they're probably going to run the 12, 13, 14, one of those dates. And then WWE's in town 5, 6, 7. That's interesting. Anyway, Greektown. That was fun. There was some good wrestling.
Mm.
Don't you love that wrestling?
You know, it exists.
It does.
It's fine. It's fine.
Chi-Town Spurs sent us a super chat saying, so Logan Paul in a title match in Saudi Arabia. Once again, I'm very thankful WWE no longer monopolizes wrestling in this country. So WWE is playing very coy, Jeremy Lambert.
Coy?
Yes. Well, I mean, they're
like
doing
a pond?
Like a koi pond. That's right. COI.
Okay.
They have a bunch of fish just swimming and jumping around. They're gold. Cody Rhodes is one koi, and you got Logan Paul on the other side, and they're going to fight like a couple of beta fish. I guess they want to be the alpha. That was a bad.
They both got titles.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing with them at this match that they're about to have.
Yeah,
you got Cody running around saying Cody 2 belts, and then you've got literally everyone else on the WWE side of things being like, it's title showdown. Do we have we title for title? Are we just a match? What are we doing? Is it championship supremacy?
What does the website say?
The website, so this is what I looked at. The website is very obtuse. They made it sound like champion versus champion, as in just like a match.
Yeah, it does say champion versus champion. It says undisputed champion versus United States. Is that what they're calling now? Just the undisputed WWE champion? I think they've dropped the universal.
Yes, they have.
All right. Well, that's good to know. It doesn't really say
now. This is, by the way, sorry, I'm just, for those who are wondering, like, this is 2004, 2005 Raw and SmackDown branding at this point. When it was the Raw had the world championships, everything was world, so world tag team, world women's, world whatever, that's all Raw, and then SmackDown is all WWE branded. WWE SmackDown tag team titles are the WWE titles, WWE undisputed title, like it's all that version of it.
It doesn't really clarify if both belts are on the line. Maybe we'll get more information when they sign their contract to see who the champion is against the champion for Saudi Arabia this Friday, live on SmackDown, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox.
Is that happening?
Yeah, it's contract signing this week.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's not really clarified, but apparently it is champion versus champion. I mean, like, it is. These guys are the champions here. There you go.
They
All
are
right. Sure.
I feel like this is going to be one of those. Cody is going to make it sound like he's going for both belts, and then Logan's like, no, it's only one title, and it's the one I'm going to take from you. And then, or like Cody wins, thinks he has both belts, and then someone says, well, no, it was never,
they can't make Cody look that stupid. Like,
no, I don't think they would either. I think Cody's going to push for it, and then they'll just say like, no, because Logan Paul's a chicken shit. They're playing it very obtuse right now.
I don't think they're going to make Cody look stupid here. I just think it's going to be one title. I think it's going to be for Cody's title. It's not going to be for Logan's. I question why you're doing this match at all when it's champion versus, like, it should be for both titles. If you're going to have both champions in there, just put both belts on the line. Maybe they don't want to put the U.S. title on Cody, but then maybe don't book him against the U.S. champion then. How about that? Is there a possibility that old Logan loses like the Friday before? Because they're in Saudi for that Friday, for that SmackDown show as well. Is there a possibility that Logan loses on that show? Maybe it's like a triple threat match or something. I think it'd be dumb to have him eat a pen one day before he's about to challenge for the world title. Well, let's say it's a triple threat match. Old LA Knight, yeah, and Santos Escobar, sure, and a triple threat match with Logan, and Knight pins Escobar to win the U.S. title. Logan gets his title shot the next day, loses, but now you got a reason to do an LA Knight Logan Paul feud because Logan comes at LA Knight and says, you didn't beat me for that title.
I think it's more likely that the U.S. title is determined after King and Queen of the Ring going into Clash of the Castle, and Logan Paul has the match against whoever it is. Let's say it's LA Knight at Clash of the Castle. Only because the idea of doing Logan Paul still in a match where he still loses, right? I know he doesn't get pinned and he doesn't, the match protects him in a way, but like he still loses, and it's his title that he loses. So it's a bit of a cop out way to get him into that world title match as a singular title. I think it's just more fun to do Logan Paul versus Cody and have Logan lose a match as the heel and then go on with his US title and win the match then the next Friday night, and then go into Clash Castle, maybe lose the title then. But honestly, like I said, I see him more losing that title at SummerSlam. The problem is Jey Uso was the person I had him pegged to drop it to. But if Jay's on Raw, then
who cares?
that's fair. But you got to figure out a way to do it if you're going to cross the lines like that, which is not a TNA thing at all. So who knows? One thing I do appreciate about this story, this is going to be the first storyline in which Cody Rhodes doesn't have to deal with "I liked your father, I respected your father."
Now Logan should do that. It'd be hilarious if Logan actually did that.
I would actually laugh. He's like, "Cody, I loved watching your dad in the NWA back in the 80s when I was a small child," and everyone just being like, you were born in like 92, and he'll be like, "No, semantics."
Nah, he should be like, "Your dad was great in the NWO. That's the biggest thing he ever did when he was part of the NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. He was great in TNA. The director of Authority, he was awesome."
We already brought
TNA.
up Dusty in TNA. We already did that. That was AJ already did that, so it doesn't matter. You got to bring up Dusty. Yeah, like A-Shock says, he's a former U.S. champion, Dusty Rhodes. So you got to have Logan be like, "Oh, I'm the best U.S. champion ever, better than your daddy." And then Cody be like, "No one's better than my daddy. I love him so much. I'm going to beat your ass in Riyadh."
He should bury Dusty. No one does enough like burying of Dusty. It's all about like respect. And "Oh, your dad was so great." Logan should be like, "I didn't watch that dude. I saw clips of him on the WWE Network, only on Peacock, and he was in polka dots. He looked dumb as hell in these polka dots. Why would anybody want to be attached to this man? Why would anybody respect this man?" That's what should happen.
It's funny because like in the revisionist history of WWE and the latter years of Dusty Rhodes, he was seen as the hero. He was seen as, the common man and blah, blah, blah. But like when he booked NWA, he was awful. Like giving himself the belt, putting himself in
Yes, he
matches.
should.
Well, but this is the whole thing where at the time, like in the 80s, people were like, "God, I'm so sick of Dusty. Midnight Rider, we know who you are. Like, this is so stupid." My point being, like, this revisioning of Dusty Rhodes and his legacy in professional wrestling, which is like, again, good on Cody, was able to do that. But there's a reality here where he's like, Dusty wasn't beloved by everyone. He's beloved by those in NXT that got time with him and those in TNA that had time with him. Like most of the old guard would malign him. They just wouldn't be a big fan of his. Someone's got to bring that up with Dusty. Logan's gonna be like, "I was watching old Dave Meltzer tapes from the 80s. And I was reading old Observers, and this is what he said about your dad."
Cody would not take that kindly. Tia would come out and whoop his ass then. It brings up the history of Dusty and how they tried to downplay his impact. Tia would come out and beat his ass.
Just comes out wearing a mask, calls himself the Logan Paul Rider.
I think that's no. That's
I meant Logan comes out like that.
what his wife is for.
I meant Logan comes out in the mask. Oh God, I've already made this show much worse. Feels bad, man.
Logan should bury Dusty. We don't have enough people burying him. Everyone just wants to praise him. It's not. What fun is that? What fun is praising Dusty? At some point, somebody's got to actually bury him. Logan should be the first to do it.
Logan should come out dressed as Stardust.
That would be great.
That's what we need to have. Finally, someone needs to pay homage to Stardust properly. And Cody could be like, "Nice try." And then Cody comes out dressed as Stardust for the match in Riyadh. And the Saudi Arabian government's just like, "The hell is this?"
Ah, they'd be thrilled.
They probably
like, "Hell yeah, Gold Dust. We love this. This rules."
Oh, you think
Where's Yoko?
Yoko. His Ultimate Warrior around. How about we can't get Akebono? Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the Logan Paul thing. And it's kind of weird that they're going to go into another Saudi event where Logan challenges for the world title and loses, but these Saudi matches, these Saudi shows really mean nothing. And that's the most frustrating part about something like the King and the Queen of the Ring, is that we talk about the opportunity for it to mean something, and then I say something like, "Oh, but the location of this event means nothing, and it will be forgotten within minutes," and then the King and Queen of the Ring will still have to exist. So, like, what are we doing? Is the King and Queen of the Ring something that actually matters, or
I think so.
are we burying it? Because a lot of injuries, a lot of people pulling out of this event at the last second. We lost another one over the weekend. Zelina Vega was replaced by Maxine Dupree at the house show. So that's another one. Bobby Lashley on Friday was pulled out of his match and was inserted with, I mean, we knew Carmelo Hayes was going to win, but like, you know what it was.
No, Dawkins.
Oh, is that Tamatonga?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Tamatonga and Lashley. Either way, you knew Tamatonga was going to win.
Yeah. No, I think it means something, because if you look at the people in the tournament, they're actually like kind of top names. Like it's actually like Jade Cargill could win this thing. People are like, oh, Jade, Bianca could win this thing. Like there's some Gunther is in this. Randy Orton is in this. You compare it to a few years ago, which I don't fully remember who I know who won. I know it was Woods and Zelina. Like you look at those, no offense to either of them. I think they're both great. But the names they had in this thing weren't exactly the top names like you're getting nowadays. At least for the time. For these people. Like I'm looking at the men's side. Okay. Ray, Sammy, Cesaro, Finn. This was 2021. Woods, Ricochet, Kofi, Jinder. Like, all right. Like some decent names in there, but for 21 time, like not the best names in the world. None of these people were like heavily pushed. And the Queen of the Ring was, I mean, they weren't doing a whole lot with the Zelina. These first round matches, all of these fucking matches, Jesus,
dude, it was
Zelina, Toni Storm, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Shayna Baszler, Doudrop, Natalya. Besides the finals, do you know the longest match of these?
Yeah, it was Doudrop and Natalya. I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no fun if you actually have.
Too bad. I'm looking at it. Yeah,
3 minutes. Yeah. 3 minutes. That was the longest match out of the quarterfinals and the semifinals. The two semifinal matches were shorter than Doudrop and Natalya.
Yeah. So this is the thing.
This
immediately
sucked.
When they did the match on Raw, that Natty and oh god, who did Natty face last Monday in the King of the Ring tournament? Or Queen of the Ring. Do you remember off the top of your head? I completely just bungled it. It was Natty. Yeah, Natty and Io went 10 minutes. Okay. And people were so excited because that match lasted longer than almost the entire tournament of 2021. Hello, Sean Ross Sapp. Good morning.
Hey, I had eggs in a Tupperware thing and oatmeal. So, man. Yeah.
Hello.
I don't even know if I should bring this up because we'll work ourselves into a shoot.
I'm here for it.
Anyway, I had mentioned to Joel Pearl, little inside baseball here. I think it was probably 3-4 weeks ago, when the unfortunate realization that my grandmother might not be around. I was like, hey, you might want to prepare to do the Money in the Bank coverage, etc. Unfortunately, we didn't have as much time with her as even then, and I had canceled all my travel. And I was talking to Jimmy today,
oh, no.
And I said, I'm not necessarily feeling up to traveling. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if I don't, we should probably expense Joel's travel. And he goes, what travel? Of which I said a 5-star hotel and a helicopter ride from Mississauga to Toronto.
I'm not in Mississauga.
I don't care. You will be that day. And then he says,
Drive to
I'd almost
Mississauga
be
just for
tempted to do that for him just to see what happens.
Can I make
Just to see what happens.
Can I make an alternative suggestion?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm going to Slammiversary. Maybe some of that instead. It's 3
Where's
weeks
that at?
in Montreal. I've already booked my travel. I haven't touched my accommodations. I'm going
Yeah, I'm sure
halfway
we
on.
can do that.
Okay, I'll tell you now. I'm going halfway on points, so it's not going to be that much. It's just getting my hotel sorted.
I'm sure we can do that.
Okay, we'll talk about that. I know. I had a conversation with a TNA wrestler on Friday that they want to sit down, do a long form. So there you go.
Brian Danielson.
Yeah, Brian Danielson. He's signing with TNA
Okay.
after all that. I hope that's okay.
God, I can't say it on the air. Oh my God. I'll type it in the private chat.
Oh, okay.
I'm here for it.
But go ahead, fill this dead air.
Yeah. So that's the king and queen of the ring right now. Like one match will lasted longer than the entire 2021. Jeremy Lambert. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, good. At least they're getting some time this year. And I know people were mad that it got moved to some of the matches got moved to like live events. I didn't mind it. One, I don't need all that wrestling on my wrestling shows, so I was fine with it being on the live events. LA Knight defended it.
Check
I was going to say
the brief story in the private chat. Jeremy will love it. I know.
Oh, that's amazing. The lore is growing day by day.
When somebody told me that, I was like, okay, it's going to be all right.
LA Knight did defend it. I actually appreciated that. I thought it was good on him playing company man, going and being like, hey, the live events are when we go all out. So maybe put some respect on the live event name. Good for him.
I think I might go to Toronto. I'm coin flipping here. I would drive.
Okada?
Yeah. I don't want to do any work while I'm there though.
I want to go mainly just to film new stuff with Joel, but we're just rolling out the stuff right now from 2 years ago.
I don't want to see Joel at all. I don't want to see Joel at all.
We have a show to do if you come this way.
But like, I'm also like, I don't really feel like traveling much this summer.
It's fine.
Want to hang out with the family and all that stuff.
Fair.
There's still plenty to do around here if you decide that you want to make a weekend out of it. Besides, someone has to go to SmackDown while the other one goes to GCW. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. We'll tell Kate to go to SmackDown.
What all events do we have this year that media would be at? I mean, maybe Corey can go to, some of the Europe stuff because I'm not going there.
Fair.
You're coming to Cleveland for SummerSlam?
Yeah, I am doing Cleveland. I'm doing Cleveland. That's a drive. That's one I can take with my wife. We can just drive up there. That one is.
I don't want to do any work that weekend. Just want to
go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure. I feel like that might end up be that's probably what's going to happen. Like, we'll end up doing the junket, and our wives will probably hang out together.
Yeah.
And listen, I'll tell you one thing. My wife can teach your wife a little thing about mini golf. That's all I'm saying. That's all
here we go.
It's back.
As usual.
We're back, baby.
Usual.
Okay. I feel like I've lived a lie here. Speaking of terrible mini golf things. You guys have heard me talk about Jesus Golf.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes, of course.
It is important that anybody that comes to Lexington goes to Jesus Golf. I went to look up the hours last week and it just opened. The actual name of it is the only thing better than Jesus Golf. Do you know what it is?
Bible hole in one.
Bible holes would be great. It's Fairway to Heaven.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
I saw that and I was like, oh man, I've been spending all this time calling it Jesus Golf and they had me beat. Fairway to Heaven.
We're gonna do that this summer. We'll play Fairway to Heaven. You guys will come up from for SummerSlam for Cleveland. I'm not gonna do any work that weekend. You can do all the work, and our wives will do no work. So it'd be great.
Yeah,
let's make them work. What if they did? What if they did the interviews?
That would be fantastic.
So what if our wives just did the interviews with all the WWE talent? We just
there's a lot of talent that would probably like that. I mean, as opposed to talking to Dirt Sheet guy.
Yeah.
But Logan, yes, you have to go to Jesus Golf. TNA ran a show there once at the
Like,
ice
on the
center that
Jesus
is
Golf?
adjacent to it.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
An entire episode of
They should,
Wrestle.
they should have done a street fight on the Jesus Golf course.
funny story about that show. It was right before the pandemic. Let me see who all was on that show. But there was one name on that show that I looked at and I was like, oh, we'll be seeing them again. And we kind of did. Megan Bain was on that show.
Oh.
She faced Havoc, Jordan Grace, and Kiera Hogan. Go figure.
Megan Bain's
figure.
big in GCW right now.
Joey Ryan was on that show and he sat there at his merch table while nobody visited it.
That's
As is tradition.
As is tradition.
Unfortunate that he was there.
Man, looking back at a lot of those names on that show.
And that's why we started covering TNA in 2022.
Yeah, I think 2022
Well, I mean,
the show.
some of them were made up of some local wrestlers and stuff like that because that's what they do. But
I thought you were just gonna say some of them were made up. That'd be way funnier. They just made up.
some of them would be better if they were made up.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I did watch an 11-minute Willie Mack versus Johnny Swinger match. That did happen. That was great. I interviewed both of them too.
I was gonna say you can't speak ill of Johnny Swinger.
No, I love Johnny Swinger.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
great. It's just I love that at that point in time they were like, hell yeah, Johnny Swinger. Let's go.
Man can work.
Man, he's only 48.
I miss Swinger so much. I hope he's well.
Is he
Yeah,
injured?
I'm shocked that he's
Okay.
only 48. That
No.
can't be right.
Why are you doubting
got
this
some-
man's age?
Listen,
He's got
if
some
PCO,
Danny Almonte shit going on here.
if PCO is 708, I can believe that Johnny Swinger is 48. Maybe 50.
He was what? There's no way he was like 19 or 20 when he first popped on the WCW.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
no way.
Oh, there is absolutely a
Sure.
way.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember? So the unraveling of the Ahmed Johnson lies a few years ago, because like he popped up in WWF and people were like, oh my God, he's like 25 years old and he's played in the NFL. And I looked at some of this and I was like, now hold on. He played in the NFL. Well, that doesn't sound right because he was wrestling in like 1989, 1990. So if he was doing that, he was not playing in the NFL actively. They would not allow that. Back then, you couldn't access records the same way. And I looked at it and I was like, he would have had to have played in the NFL when he was like 18. That's definitely not happening. Well, later, we not only find out that he never played in the NFL, he also likely never played in college and also was like 5-6 years older than what they claimed in WWF at the time. And he was just like, yeah, I was definitely like 32 when I was there.
We need more lying about ages and
agree.
backgrounds in
agree.
wrestling. Honestly, like
I did an interview with Xenia a few years ago, and she put an age that was significantly less than what I actually was on there. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
I thought Ahmed Johnson, when they told me this like 25-year-old former NFL, I was like, oh, this is the next guy right here.
Yeah.
This is the dude. And then it didn't happen. But we need more of that. Just lie about your age, lie about your athletic background. You'd be good. It's wrestling.
I think we
Who
should
cares?
just lie more in general.
Fair.
Yeah. What are we gonna lie about today?
I don't know.
We gotta
Brian
find
Danielson
some lie.
taught me
Brian
how to
Danielson.
lie.
Yes, he did.
Anyway, guys, check out my interview with Rocky Romero. For some reason, it's not doing the numbers. I think Rocky Romero might be washed.
Oh, it's over. Too many contracts. Too much exposure.
Missa Kate has already outdrew him.
Really?
Yeah,
In
Gabe
fairness-
Kidd did really well too. Man,
Gabe
people
Kidd
just love
rules.
Gabe Kidd right now.
Wonder why. Dude rules.
I saw him. I did an interview with him like 2.5 years ago, right before his mental health break. And as soon as I got off the interview, I was like, this guy gets it better than anybody I have ever seen. At least since Becky Lynch and her promo prime. Like he promotes every match like it's a fight, like it's a fist fight, and I love it. I love it. Well, guys, I guess I got to do some work.
That's unfortunate.
I just got a message from your wife saying I'm hitting you with a putt-putt club.
Good.
Well,
You
here's
deserve
one
it.
thing.
Justified. You deserve it, Chant.
Here's the thing. If she's that shitty at putt,
Woof.
she'll be even worse at picking a caddy. So I have confidence that her caddy will pick the lightest club possible. One of those Fisher-Price gimmicks. Bring it. Bring it. How dare you remove me? How about that? How about that?
Oh, this is
Jeremy just like, I'll leave.
Yeah.
Woohoo, half day.
This is not a punishment for me.
Like, is this really the show you want to have right now? Is this really what you want to do?
Okay, I'm getting the hell out of here before that happens.
I cannot blame him at all.
Sean tries to pull one over of like, I'm gonna remove Jeremy. I'm just like, okay, I don't have to do this show and talk about wrestling. Fantastic.
The moral of the story is nobody wants to work with me.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. I really do. Anyway, where were we? King and Queen of the Ring. That's what we did. It doesn't matter. I listen, do I want it to matter for once? Sure. They're making the Queen of the Ring sound like it's something that's worth, paying attention to. More stars, more brackets. But
I think it does matter. I truly do. Like, I do think, like, based on the talent, as we were discussing before Sean came on, like, I do think that based on the talent they have in this thing, it does matter. I'm really sold on Gunther and Orton in the finals, by the way. That's looking more likely. The women's side is interesting because Jade's in it. Jade's gonna face potentially Bianca in the finals on that side. That's an interesting matchup. Like, Bianca can beat Jade, I think. I really think Bianca can beat Jade. I think if Jade is in the finals, she beats whoever's on the Raw side. Io looks like it could be on the Raw side. Maybe if they're really in on Lyra, that this is a big push for her. But Tiffany's there as well. There's interesting names in this. Like, there's people where you can justify any of them winning it.
Whereas in 2021, we all looked at it as a joke because WWE certainly wasn't treating it as anything more than that, right? I used to say it was going to be Queen Doudrop and King Jinder, and it was going to be perfect. And it wasn't, but I mean, Doudrop made it to the final. That's all that mattered. Anyway, I'm looking at the brackets and I'm seeing I don't love that Bianca and Jade are in this thing. I didn't love that Naomi was put in well, actually, Naomi not being a tag team champion doesn't matter in this case. But like, I don't love Bianca and Jade, who are just winning the women's tag team titles, being put in this with the possibility of having to face each other in the finals. I don't like that. Like of their bracket or this, the finals of the bracket.
Semifinals. It's a
semi. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Semis. Regardless, I don't love it. It doesn't need to be.
I like it, but the Tiffany Stratton factor can't be ignored because I don't know if I'm having her take a loss either. I guess she already has. Like, it's fine, but it feels like she's on a rise to where she might win that women's title sooner rather than later. Does Nia beat Jade?
Again, I keep saying you can beat Jade Cargill. It is okay. You can
I agree.
find a way to make it so that her loss is not, doesn't look bad. She puts up a fight. It's a good match. It's a solid match. And like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't like the idea of Bianca being the one who's going to beat Jade, or Jade goes all the way. Like, it just doesn't work.
I do like the idea of Bianca being the one to beat Jade. But then I'm looking at it like, I don't know if Tiffany's going to beat, if Bianca is going to beat Tiffany, though. And here's why I like the idea of Bianca beating Jade, though. Yeah, they're the women's tag team champions. It's a little like you still got a lot to learn. And I'm not saying like she's got to beat her clean. It could just be she beats her with I know Carmelo Hayes just did this on SmackDown. And so now you're running back the same finish. But you get caught with like a roll up. You get caught in a schoolboy. I don't know about schoolboy, but a small package type thing. You're a little too cocky with things, and Bianca just catches her, reverses Jaded into the forward roll pin type of thing. And it's like, you still got a lot to learn here. And then Jade's like, okay, you got me. Like, all right, this is why this team works, because, I can be dominant, but you're still a veteran. You got me here. And then you play that down the line when the inevitable turn happens. I think there's a way, and then you get the Jade loss out of the way and you don't have to worry about it anymore. I do still caution of just undefeated Jade destroying everybody. And it's like, all right, at some point she's just got to lose. And can you make that loss be meaningful by the point that it comes? Or can you just keep feeding her victories over people before people are just like, when is she actually going to lose? Like, when is this going to happen? So they have ways to do a lot of things in this tournament. That's why I'm very interested to see how it all plays out.
I just don't like the women's tag team champions being a part of it and possibly facing each other, and then this being the beginning of whatever rift breaks them up. It's just it's lazy to me if that's where they go with it. I would rather Nia Jax beat Jade, get it out of the way, and let Jade just have a loss. Just let it happen. Let it exist. Don't do the Bianca beats Jade because you still got a lot to learn, kid. If you're gonna do that, do it in a different showcase than this. I don't like that this is the way that they're trying to shoehorn it. That Jade's gonna hit that loss eventually, and this is how we're gonna do it, and it's a little over the top.
But we don't know that this is how they're going to do it, though. I'm just spitballing.
But if that's the way that they do it, then it just feels a little too. It doesn't work for me, brother. But I do not think that Tiffany Stratton is winning. I think Tiffany is better fit for the Money in the Bank. I still think that her carrying around that pink, obnoxious Barbie briefcase is going to be so much better than being Queen Tiffy. I think Queen Tiffy is just like, it is what it is. But other than that, Jade and Bianca did not need to be part of this as the tag team champions. Individually, fine. But if you put them together like that, doesn't work.
I like that they're part of it, even though they're the tag team champions. I guess because I don't care too much about the tag team titles. And sure, you want to make them mean something, do more. I think you do make them mean a little bit something by having both of these women in this tournament. Like, I think it adds prestige to this tournament. I think that's the goal more than, hey, let's do something with the women's tag team titles, because like they're there.
I get
but
it.
I feel like they care more about this tournament, which is fine.
And I understand that you want to put prestige on it. I get that.
The women's tag titles are the women's tag titles. Like, Bianca and Jade holding them makes them mean a little bit more because it's Bianca and Jade. But let's look at the history of these tag team titles and like what they've done with them throughout. Like they're at where they're at. I'd rather more prestige on this tournament. So I actually like that they're part of this, even though they're the women's tag team champions. I'm not looking at them as the women's tag team champions, and maybe I'm wrong for that. I'm just not.
Wilchin sent a super chat saying, I think Tiffany Stratton beats Bianca Belair because they set up Bianca hurting her knee this past Friday, and I see Tiffany beating Jade because of Nia. That's fair. Again, I don't see Tiffany winning Queen of the Ring for the branding. I see Tiffany winning Money in the Bank because there's more there. But I could see Nia winning the Queen of the Ring. That's the other side of it. Or they get Nia all the way to the final and she faces like a Lyra Valkyria. And it's Lyra and Nia in the final. And that's a pretty big deal for someone like Lyra to either go to the final and win, or for Nia to come out and be the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. And there's a lot of possibilities they can go. I'm looking at it. The only two that I'm like, I don't know about that are Shayna. And that's no knock on Shayna. I think she's fantastic, but she's just at where she's at. She's kind of always been there. And Zoe. And again, I think highly of both of them. It's just I don't foresee them going with either of them in this position. Anybody else, I'm like, you can make sense out of this. Certainly on the SmackDown side. I don't think Bianca like needs the accolade or anything, but let's be honest, they do love accolades, and Bianca's won everything else. So if you now give her Queen of the Ring, it's like, well, who else in history has done this? They love doing that accolade shit. So they might just do it just for that, honestly. And Tiffany makes a lot of sense. Jade makes sense. Nia just playing up Queen Nia and like most dominant force. They've kind of renewed focus on her. Makes some sense. Lyra, you can make her out of this because you have like you're not making Nia, Jade, Tiffany, or Bianca. They're already pretty over on that side of things. Lyra is someone you can make out of this. And Io, because she's a former champion. And again, if you want to look at accolades, like you put Queen of the Ring on her, that's a good accolade for her on top of everything else she's accomplished. So there's some possibilities here. I like what they've done so far.
Talked about the substitutions. It's amazing. Xavier Woods, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Zelina Vega, Asuka, all unavailable for this whole thing. I made the joke. It's elevated liver enzymes again. 2006 is calling. It sucks when you have all these injuries kind of mounting up. You hope that they are short term in that they can start hitting the road again by Clash at the Castle, especially for someone like Drew McIntyre where you're going towards your home base. Bobby Lashley, I think Sean had reported they knew on Monday that he was injured, so they had pulled him by the Friday for the King of the Ring. Most of these people they didn't have plans for them.
Maybe
Asuka and maybe Drew.
Yeah, Drew, I think was a real possibility, but I actually think he's better off not being in this thing, given his trajectory right now. Maybe you don't want to win King and Queen of the Ring, because 3 years from now, when they do the next King and Queen of the Ring, you're going to be injured. Woods won 3 years ago, injured. Zelina won 3 years ago, injured. So maybe this is not a good thing to win, because in 3 years, you're going to suffer an injury. And maybe you're looking ahead of like, you know what? This might seem cool now. But if you're long-term thinking, think 3 years from now, around the same time, you're going to be injured. Something to think about.
The curse of the king and queen.
It is. Could be. It could
be. It's a novel. It's a novel being written today. Not by me. On the men's side, I know that we're talking about Gunther and Randy. I think the other option that kind of pops out at me is Jay and Tama Tonga, just for the bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can start to kind of fizzle in, because again, on Friday night, they kind of alluded to the idea that Roman Reigns is now giving the order to Solo that he is the tribal heir, he's the tribal chief, and he's in charge. And of course, everyone's running around saying like, no, Solo's lying, of course. But
I want the receipts from Solo.
Yeah,
Where's the call log?
Where's the diss track from Roman Reigns? Okay. But regardless, if this is how they start telling that story and they start easing into maybe not necessarily the return of Roman Reigns, but certainly the return of the original bloodline to take on this new formed one under Solo, then Jay and Tama certainly kickstarts that side of things. And you can bring, I don't know how advanced or how bad Jimmy's injury is, but if he goes and he's a part of the final, they kind of tease whose side is he on. He picks Jay because he was already jumped out. So it's not even a tease at that point. He's just getting retribution over the guy that took him out of the bloodline, and that was Tama Tonga. So instead he goes and sides with his brother, but his brother's a little apprehensive, and eventually the brothers reunite and they join with Roman down the line. You can kind of tell that story starting with the King of the Ring, and Jay wins King of the Ring. Problem is, you still got to do something with Jey Uso coming out of all of that, because Jey Uso is a great, quote, main event Jey Uso, but like, what does that mean? And this is where you can say maybe the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring does get a title shot, and maybe it's a title shot of their choosing, at which point Jay says, I want Logan Paul, I want the US Championship at SummerSlam. If that's how they get there, that's how you can do it without messing up the roster, or messing up the brand split, the draft. But it's there, and that's an option for you. But yeah, Jay and Tama Tonga is the other side of this I thought of.
Jay and Ilya tonight is very interesting, because Jay's over enough to where if he loses, it's fine. He'll remain over. Ilya is someone you would think needs some wins here. You don't want to beat him this quickly on being part of the main roster. I thought losing to Jey Uso was a bad thing or anything like that, because Jay is, I mean, he's one of the most over guys in the company. So it's not like a terrible thing, but he's just known for beating people. He went years beating people in NXT. Like this is, and then NXT UK, he was the original Gunther Slayer and everything. So him just losing second match on Raw, I guess third, but like third match on Raw feels like very quick for that to happen for him. So I'm very curious as to how this match plays out tonight. Like it's an interesting matchup. It could really go either way, and I wouldn't be mad either way depending on how it plays out, what comes out of it. Maybe Ludwig Kaiser gets involved and costs Ilya. Maybe there's some Judgment Day shenanigans with Jay. Like there's stuff that could happen here. It's a good matchup. It's a fun matchup.
Yeah, and on top of that, do you really want to tell the story right away of Ilya and Gunther and have Gunther slay the dragon that couldn't slay him? Do you really want to do that now, or is that a later on title story that makes a little that has a little more gravitas? Again, I think most people who watch WWE aren't really aware of the background between Ilya and Gunther, so it's not bad to start telling that story here and build from there, and at least you'll have a main roster reference point, and then you can build backwards and then forward to whatever they do down the road for a championship, and it'll be a little more important. So there's an option there, but I think at the end of the day, Gunther beats Kofi. Kofi puts up a valiant fight. Maybe Woods comes around and tries to help, but who knows how injured he is. There's some really cool matches going on tonight on Raw, so we'll see where that goes. We'll do a preview later, even though everything announced is basically the matches we're talking about.
And Becky Lynch is in action as well.
3 weeks to go. She's out here posting Instagram stories of Tony Khan holding her book. Photoshop.
Is she?
Yeah, I think she did. I think it was in her stories.
Hold on.
It was in her stories.
Hold on. Let's go to Becky Lynch's Instagram here. She hasn't posted anything in stories.
What was yesterday, though?
Well, the stories stay up for 24 hours.
Yeah, they have been 24 hours before.
You might have gotten worked here, Joel.
Either way. Let's say she didn't.
Okay, let's say she didn't. Well, then we're not talking about anything.
No, but then I want to talk about it anyway, so.
Well, if she didn't post it, there's nothing to say. Where did you see this? This is nowhere.
Hold on, let me see if I can find this. I gotta find it.
Like it's not like on Twitter. It's nowhere.
I gotta find it now. I swear to God, I saw it. It was a Photoshop.
Clearly.
Yeah. It's gonna take me a minute. This is great fodder.
Yeah. I feel like you got worked here, Joel.
We'll see about that. It's from
Okay.
hours. It's from 6 o'clock yesterday. I'm gonna find it later. I'm gonna find it later because we won't talk about it then.
All right. I don't think this is a real thing that happened.
Okay. Let's just pretend it is.
No, I'm not going to pretend it's a real thing that happened if it didn't happen.
Okay, fine. Then we'll pretend that it didn't happen.
A-Shock is saying she posted that months ago to promote her book.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was from months ago. You're right. There it is.
Okay. Well, sure.
Well, anyway, so
where's it at? Do you have the picture? Can you at least post the picture?
there's a thing from. Hold on, I got it. 1 sec.
Because I don't know if I've actually ever seen this.
Like, I'm sure it's very clearly a Photoshop.
Oh, so it's not even like.
Well, no, but it was at one point reposted by, like, it was one point posted by her.
Oh,
but it's it's a joke. Like, it's a jokey joke.
Right,
this was all part of a joke.
Okay.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, the very clearly Photoshop.
Oh yeah, no, we all know that it's a photo. It's not Tony Khan.
Yeah.
It's a 2019 Tony Khan photo.
Yeah. Okay. All
Anyway.
right. Well, she's got a few weeks left on her contract. I don't think she's going anywhere. I don't think anybody thinks she's going anywhere. Seth just re-signed. she's got her daughter to worry about. Like, maybe something changes. I assume it's just right now she wants what she feels she deserves, and what I assume she does deserve. And that's that. I'm sure I assume they'll get it worked out. But maybe she takes a little time off before they get it worked out. She's got the match with Liv a week from this weekend. So like just before the contract expires, maybe she loses that. And then, yeah, she takes a little time off, which she has earned and deserves. And then they figure it all out before she eventually returns.
Or maybe she goes to TNA. Hmm? Hmm?
No.
Hmm?
No.
No?
Why?
No?
I'm not going to entertain that because it's no.
She could. Couple weeks,
No.
Listen, there was a time, this was 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, when they did the whole Kevin Owens quits. And KO only lasted it was a KO or was it Nick Nemeth? It may have been Dolph Ziggler. It was Ziggler leaves. And everyone thought that Ziggler was going to go run the indies for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then come back to WWE, even though he was still under contract. I'm not saying that Becky should do it while under contract, but I'm saying she goes away, plays a couple of free agent hits, and then comes back. Why not? Have some fun with it.
I think WWE is fine with, they'll give people Shayna Baszler and Charlie Dempsey. They'll send people to Japan. Nakamura can go to Japan. That's fine. They ain't having Becky Lynch go out and boost any of these audience. I guess it's of her own volition. If she's not under contract, she can do what she wants, but I don't feel like.
So you're telling me Becky Lynch isn't going to be working Scrapper Mania in OTT?
Probably not.
My God. Ye of little faith.
Yeah. Sorry.
Have Becky show up at Slammiversary just for my own brain. Make it worthwhile for me to be there.
Yeah, don't feel like we're gonna see Becky.
Yeah, Becky working Japan. She's gonna go to Marigold. Bring in Julia. There it is. It's happening. Jeremy, it's gonna happen.
No,
she's gonna go contract. It's gonna happen.
I don't feel like she's going to AEW or anything like that. Like maybe she does. Maybe she does. Just got a hard time seeing it, especially after Seth resigns. The Seth news,
yeah, that kind of
feels like it gives it away in that I don't think they want to be on different travel schedules. I don't think they want to be on just different schedules, period. That's why they got the family together. They got the bus and all this stuff. I don't think Seth wants to be on Mondays and then Becky's working Wednesdays and maybe Saturdays and just completely separated.
Well, hold on. Think about the bus schedule. The bus, first of all, they say they live full time on that bus. Yeah. So it's incredibly possible to have two separate income streams to fuel that damn bus and then some. And
well,
they go two Monday. And then, yeah, but still, like they go on Monday from Raw to the Wednesday show, and then they go to to Friday, and then they go to Saturday, and then you got a pay-per-view every Saturday or Sunday of the month.
They already have two separate income streams, and the bus is going to cost more because it's doing more driving. If you're only having one bus for this,
well, not if they're doing as many PR appearances or not. You pick them up, and you don't do that. Suddenly you have a little more time in your hands. Well, well, first of all, Seth is off the road anyway, so it doesn't matter. He's injured. He ain't, he's not coming back as immediately. But Becky, if she's just got to do a Wednesday, then let's go. You just got to do a PR run here and there, but otherwise you're just going town to town, traveling Wilburys. Let's go.
But this is more. But it's more travel though, because now you're throwing in a Wednesday travel day that you didn't have before.
They're already living on the bus full time, they said.
Okay, but I'm
what else were they up to? They were probably doing other PR hits during that time.
No, they were probably at home on a Wednesday.
What's home? Home is the bus.
No, you're not accounting for like gas and travel here, Joel. You're just like, oh, they're living on the bus. Like
that's part of the other side of things. That's part of the dual income stream I'm talking about.
Again, they already have two income streams. What are you? You're not talking about anything.
Well, neither are you. You think that she's automatically signing back up because her husband signed up.
Okay.
Are you trying to say that she does everything that her husband does?
No, I'm trying to say they probably want to be together. So she's probably just going to resign. Good.
I think they should get another bus. They should have the winter bus and the summer bus. They should have one of those buses that extends, kind of like the Rock's bus. You know, the people's bus that extends up and it has a second floor, and they can build a gym on that bus. That way they don't have to shower at the local whatever, the Planet Fitness. Instead, they can shower on their own bus. Second floor raises up. That's it. That's the winter bus. They could be, that's the Venga bus, and it's coming and everybody's jumping. They go from New York to San Francisco just to live and see the disco.
I don't get any of these references.
The bus runs on potatoes. That's what the chat is saying, and I believe that.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre gets a bus, calls it the banger bus. You know,
They already did that.
I know they got a big old cease and desist from it too.
Yeah.
It was an intercity disco. Thank you. It was an intercity disco. Great song.
I don't get these references.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've got something to tell you, and I've got news for you. Go look up the lyrics to the Venga Bus.
Who sings this?
The Venga Boys.
No. Okay.
And the Venga Bus is coming.
Joel, have you heard the Smashing Pumpkins hit song Creep?
We got a super chat from Matthew Hooks saying, like Collision, are we getting a 3-hour AEW show? It certainly feels that way. Collision was 3 hours this week. They included...
No, it wasn't.
Collision was 2 hours with a third hour of Rampage on top of it.
Thank you.
Semantic, pedantic asshole.
Facts.
Factual. Yes, that's right. What was the big news coming out of this episode of Collision? What stood out to you most?
Bryan Danielson loves AEW.
He does, but Claudio doesn't love that Bryan Danielson is willing to kill himself for it.
The real big news is the stuff that came out of Japan, not so much Collision. I guess Adam Copeland wants to do a barbed wire match because he's going to that place now. Good for him.
He's gonna grab at his hair and
yeah, that's why he doesn't have as much hair now because he ripped it all out.
Pulled it all out before. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yep. Makes sense.
So Eddie Kingston took a hell of they called it a brain buster. It was largely a suplex. Regardless, he got suplexed on the propped up table, and his back of his legs and knees hit the guardrail, the New Japan show. Man, that looked like it sucked. Looked like it really, really sucked. And then the Young Bucks attacked him after the match. I don't know how Eddie is feeling. I know we had an update that he was going to get attended to and see how he might do. You know, Anarchy in the Arena is in a week from this weekend, so a little less than 2 weeks now. It's not a match where it's a brawling match, but like you got to be able to walk a little bit to do that match. That looked like it sucked. And if they don't have Eddie for that match, I hope they got a good backup plan. Is Moxley available? Can Moxley do this thing? I feel like he'd be willing to do it.
If you do it, you got to have Evil show up and cost them the match.
That was the best thing about the New Japan show. Evil showing up and just painting the whole thing black. He's like, fuck a logo. I'm just going to spray paint this whole center place black. People got mad about the Evil showing up. Why?
It's the Evil.
Evil's the best thing that's ever happened to New Japan. WWE shouted out star, Evil. WWE WrestleMania attendee, Evil. He rules. People getting mad about this. I hope he beats Moxley.
Could you imagine? And then Evil puts up
facing him at Dominion. He's facing him at Dominion.
I know. And then if Moxley wins, well, I gotta assume the winner of that match goes on to Forbidden Door, puts that title on the line against somebody from New Japan or AEW, depending on the winner of the title.
Evil against.
I mean, you should have Jack Perry cost Moxley the title, have Evil win at Dominion.
Yeah, be great.
And you can set up a Blackpool Combat Club versus House of Torture match at Forbidden Door.
Oh, Blackpool Combat Club doesn't want that smoke. They don't want anything to do with House of Torture. House of Torture, run those fools.
I'm still after House of Black versus House of Torture. We can do it. Time for the houses to align.
Well, you want them to be on the same page or against each other?
You know
said
what?
aligned.
I started with, I know aligned, but I mean like aligned in a match, in a fight. Maybe I do want them to team up together. Maybe that would be more fun for me.
House of Torture doesn't need to get involved in the spooky stuff. They just need to.
They are the spooky stuff.
What are you talking about? They're not spooky.
They are. You can't tell me Evil spray painting the title black isn't spooky.
So the NWO was spooky because they used spray paint?
Yes, in their own way, they were spooky.
No, they're
Did
not
you see
spooky.
Sting? Did you see Sting? Wolfpack Sting was spooky.
No, I don't need House of Torture being involved in that kind of stuff. I like where things are at with them. We need Evil to win, to beat John Moxley. John Moxley wants his little rematch at Forbidden Door. He can lose again to Evil. It's fine by me. And Evil should hold the title for basically the next 5 years, and I'd be cool with it.
That's fine.
Y'all are some haters on the House of Torture. They're the best thing in New Japan. The absolute best. What else is going on in New Japan? Huh? Tell me. You got a champion who doesn't want to travel to Japan, defending the title more in America than he is in Japan.
Good for him.
What else is happening? On the Nick Nemeth? That's your big thing? Gabe
I mean,
Kidd
he lost, didn't he? Gabe Kidd does rule. He did win the New Japan Strong Championship.
Yeah, he does rule. And
Nick
Nemeth lost.
You got Hikuleo winning a tag title when everyone was so convinced that he was going to lose and be on the way out after this show.
Well, that's
then Dominion. They're going to have a multi tag team match where he probably drops that tag team title. He just
Tama Tonga won the Never title and it was like, by the way, I'm done. So
Carl Anderson held on to the Neverweight Championship for 6 months after his WWE return. That was my favorite. Yeah, I'm going to come back. Oh, no, I can't make it this month. Yeah, no, totally this month. No, I can't make it this month. Oh, how about that? Oh, no. Okay, fine. Now I'll do it. I can give you the biggest payday of my life. Let's go.
Shingo, he's having good matches. Whoop-dee. Everyone has good matches. Evil does something different. That's why I love Evil and House of Torture. They're different. They don't have good matches. That's why they rule.
Yeah.
Too many good matches in wrestling.
That's it. It's time to start putting bad matches over. Start promoting the bad matches. I'm telling you, it'll make your life so much better if you just understand that the bad matches deserve to be talked about. For example,
AEW said they're very happy with it. It'd be funnier if they were like, show wasn't all that great. Like, tune in to see what a train wreck this show is going to be. What do you want them to say?
That would do some numbers. If
I know. Like, so here's
AEW says this episode sucked. You should watch it. And New Japan should do the same.
Justified this sucks chant. I want to interview Tony Khan for a multitude of reasons. But the one question I want to ask him is, are there any chants that aren't justified? Because you say every chant is a justified chant. Are there chants where you're like, you know what? That wasn't very justified. They just like chanted it. Because I feel
that's a really great question. Listen, let me tell you, in the 5 years of AEW, there have been maybe 2 chants that I can tell you were not justified. The first one was on an episode of AEW Dark dated February 2nd, 2021, when, I don't know, just put 2 wrestlers together. Someone chanted, "This is awful." And I don't think that was very justified. The crowd thought they were saying, "This is awesome." But then we realized, no, it was just one of the guns being dicks and yelling, "This is awful," because they were tired and it was 3 a.m.
I don't think any "We Want Tables" chant is justified. I think that chant sucks and they should not chant that. I think any chant that is "We Want Tables," not justified. I don't think every "This is awesome" chant is justified either. All right, cool. You did a destroyer. You shouldn't get a "This is awesome" chant. Is not justified off of that.
We need more "This is awful" chants in wrestling.
"We Want Tables" is awesome, awful. That's actually awful.
Yeah, no. What's the worst chant you've ever heard at a wrestling show? Is it this is awesome?
This is awesome. It's not like a bad chant. It's just it's cliche to just chant. This is awesome.
I have heard "We are awesome" as a chant.
That's terrible.
Awful. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, I'm with Corey. Who is we? I don't want tables. Chant for something cool. You see tables like every single match. Every single show has like some type of table break, right? Like every show, whether it's an announced table, whether they pull out a table, every show has a table break. Chant like we want fire. We want Legos. We want water bottles. Just beat someone's ass with a water bottle. That's funny. We want tables.
Y'all need to start bringing signs that say not everyone wants tables. Fair. Or don't speak for us. We don't want tables.
I like that.
People are saying
we want DQs.
Yeah, we want DQs. And they're not talking about Dairy Queen. Although I would love some Dairy Queen right now.
Yeah, they should chant for like things they actually want. Like, okay, we want table. We want to see this person go through a table. How was it fun for you? Haha, I watched another person go through a table. You don't get anything out of that. We want ice cream. That's legit. Like give us ice cream.
Yeah.
We want 99-cent beers. Chant that.
That's a long thing to. We want free beer. We want free beer. That'd be nice.
We want free beer. It works.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to also it has to be a little bit more. I don't know. It's got to be realistic, right?
Well, you don't know. You chant it, you might get it. They chant, "We want tables." You kind of get that. Most of the wrestlers like, "Oh, okay, we can do this." Let's see a wrestler really step up and a "We want free beer" chant, and a wrestler go out there and be like, "You know what, guys? Round on me." All 8,000 people if it's a WWE event, all 2,000 people if it's an AEW event, beer for all of you.
That's the answer. We want water at the press conferences. What do we want? Free bottles of water. When do we want them? At the press conferences.
Go out there and chant that, Joel, at the next AEW press conference. When Tony's up there, "We want water." Chant it.
We want water. And you know what? If you ever do that interview with Tony, that's the question I'm either going to ask because I'll be there or have you ask on my behalf. Can we ensure that there's a bottle of water on every chair moving forward at these press conferences?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Chant for things that actually accomplish something, folks. Quit chanting for tables. You're not sitting there. You're just watching someone go through a table. Is that really fun? Is it fun for you to watch someone go through a table?
At that point, you're just chanting, "We want violence." And that's what you're there for.
You see it every match.
You're there. Yeah, you're there. Wrestling happens on the show. That's why you're going to an all elite wrestling show or a world wrestling entertainment show. Like the wrestling is going to be there.
Fight forever is a dumb chant.
Yes, I want to go to sleep at a reasonable hour. Let's not fight forever.
You don't want to see two men actually fight forever or two women. You don't actually want to see it.
Eventually, someone's going to die or you're going to have to mediate some sort of peace treaty.
It's going to get boring after a while. Like fight forever. Like it gets boring.
Oh man, yeah.
Ever fight.
We want rules in a street fight.
It'd be good. I like that idea.
Yeah, y'all need to start chanting, "We want rules."
Yeah, big man dog. It's cares about dumb wrestling match. No. Well, I need a talk forever chant. That somebody chant that in the middle of a long promo. Talk forever. That's what we need.
Talk for 12 minutes. Fight for 11 minutes at most. 12 minutes at most. Oh God. Yeah, there should be rule enforcement. We want rule enforcement. No, that doesn't work either. Justified. This is the rules. Yeah, no, we need that interview with Tony so we can ask the most ridiculous questions and see how many ridiculous answers we can get. What do you think? Should we get it? Should we go for Tony?
We should.
I see you reading. I see you reading things.
I am.
That's all right. Yeah, fight to your heart's content should be that's the chant. Fight to whenever the producers told you to stop time. No one's chanting more Don Callis though, that's for sure. Anyway, yeah, and the other thing that was big news out of that New Japan show was the Young Bucks making their first New Japan appearance in 5 years since the start of AEW. It's a pretty big deal for them. What happened there? Did they try to make a challenge for Forbidden Door, but it wasn't really a challenge for Forbidden Door? It was just kind of something. They were just kind of talking shit. Was that what was going on?
It was weird because they were like, yeah, Forbidden Door, but then they just like didn't go back to Forbidden Door. Then like, oh, actually Anarchy in the Arena. It was a weird thing.
So we don't really know if anything's going to be Forbidden Door. Or maybe they were just trying to say, oh, Forbidden Door is a show we're going to do, but first let's get through Anarchy in the Arena. It's very strange. Looking forward to seeing what they do with that, though. What else happened on that show? Was there anything else that was really big on the New Japan show? Otherwise, we're just back to Collision, which, like, honestly, was a very good show. It was just a very inoffensive show. Kyle O'Reilly had a good match with Adam Copeland. The colors that Cope was wearing, I said this on the internet and I'll say it again to you all. Ballsy move on Adam Copeland to wear Calgary Flames colors in Vancouver. And no, you cannot tell me that those were actually the throwback Flames colors he was wearing. It's a heel move, Jeremy Lambert's wearing Flames colors in Canuck country.
Copeland, he wore he wore Winnipeg Jets colors in Winnipeg. He's a Maple Leafs fan.
He is.
This is why I can't get behind this guy. He's just like, I'm going to wear the colors of O'Reilly wore Vancouver colors.
Good on him.
Like, I can't get, he's a Leafs fan. We know you're a Leafs fan. You talk about the Leafs on all these interviews that I listen to. Maybe nobody else understands it, but like, we know you're a Leafs fan. Quit wearing the colors to be like, I'm going to get the hometown pop for wearing these colors. Dude, just own you're a Leafs fan. I know that sucks, but like, just own it.
Yeah. Maybe that was the beginning of Copeland doing his heel turn, was wearing the Flames colors.
Look, that's very subtle heel turn.
Very Canadian subtlety right there.
Yeah. I think you guys are reading more into Copeland hinting going heel than they are actually plan Copeland going heel with.
Yeah, I think they're working on him being a little darker in presentation, a little more dark-sided. Actually, one thing that I was listening to Grapsody on Sunday. They did it on Saturday. I was listening on Sunday. And one thing that Phil kind of thought up that I thought was a good idea was, as Copeland's getting a little too far over the edge, Christian, of all people, pulls him back. And that's how they start their reconciliation. And it's, like Phil was saying, it's hard to believe it right now, given the presentation of Christian Cage, but you can change that in a dime. Like, you can change that on a dime and have Christian suddenly go and find his best friend and pull him back. Or maybe Christian takes advantage of Adam in this predicament and tells him to come with me, and they'll both be bad guys together. We haven't seen this variation of Adam and Christian as this type of heels. It would be different, but I think that might be where we go. I like that idea from Phil.
Remember when Nick Wayne wrestled? Yeah,
he did an Iron Man match at the Defy show. Opened up the Defy show with that Iron Man match. He did.
I see Nick Wayne on television. I'm like, do you wrestle anymore? I know he wrestles on the independent scene, but it's just like,
he can't wrestle in front of his mom. It makes him very nervous.
I guess.
Which I understand.
Can I just get like a Nick Wayne match? He hasn't wrestled a television match since March 7th. It's been 2 months. And that was a 3-minute match against Adam Priest.
Was that a Rampage match?
No, it was on Collision.
It was a Collision match. I don't remember that one. I guess maybe I missed. Maybe that was a week I missed Collision.
That was a taped show. I don't know how many people like actually watched that show. That was the main event was Atlanta Street Fight House of Black against Lethal, Jarrett, and Mark Briscoe. So
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you what's on that show.
Yeah, I think I may have skipped that week.
That was a fine match. But yes, Nick Wayne wrestled on that show. That's the last time he wrestled in a televised match.
That's wild. Billy Stark's out here working every Thursday. Nick Wayne can't get a match to save his life. Put Nick Wayne on Ring of Honor television. We should become robots, you and I, Jeremy. I'm talking ROH bots.
Oh, is that what
we call them robots? I saw. That's what we're going to call them now. They're e-drones and whatever they call it. Do they still call them AEW sexuals or whatever?
I don't know if that's still a thing.
I don't think that's a thing.
Possible.
I don't know who does that anymore. But robots was my favorite one that I saw. Yeah, Nick Wayne should do a Will Ospreay match. That should be the next one.
I mean, they had they could have just done Nick Wayne as Will Ospreay. Would have been fine. But they were
sure
like, no, we're gonna get Will Ospreay, which is fair.
So weird. I agree with you though. I mean, it's like, where is Nick Wayne other than appearing on television? The guy that they hired as like the new wrestling prodigy is not doing the prodigal thing.
It's not like he's talking either. He's just in these segments, just like standing around getting his ass beat.
He's being Hook. Even Hook's talking more than he is.
Yeah, Hook happens. Yeah,
Hook's out here talking to the camera now. Yeah. Good on him. We're seeing the development of Hook. This is big news.
It's fine.
You think he'll survive if we let him?
Yeah, it's fine.
We want Hook. We want Hook. Do people want Hook? Is that a thing still? Or did Hook kind of die down with the Jericho stuff? I'm asking a question.
Oh, I don't know. Hook's going to be on Dynamite.
I know, but like, are people genuinely interested in what this Hook and Jericho stuff is going to be? Or are we just kind of like, okay, Jericho?
Probably. I think people like Hook still. I mean, I don't know.
We should bring up our best pal, Steve Macklin, was a big part of Rampage. His wife, Deonna Purrazzo, using his thing, using his gimmick, using his oh my gosh, using his gimmicks, not only his finish but also his tagline. So good on him.
Zip him up, tag him up, tag him,
bag him, mayhem for all.
Yeah.
And front towards enemy. That was the other one. But yeah. And then yeah, listen, that popped me. I had a good laugh. But that was really the highlight of Rampage for me. But otherwise, Collision was, it was a fine show. It was easy 2 hours to sit down and watch. A lot of people are talking about the Dax Harwood match. There's a big one against Tommy Billington, Dynamite Kid's nephew, I believe.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get signed. They stayed in the ring for a while. I thought they were going to do the old All Elite graphic. He lost, so
he did lose. That is a good point. No, instead that's easily what they did. By the way, Kevin Matthews, we got to put him over for doing the Daniel Garcia dance, doing it better than Daniel Garcia does it. A whole lot of dick in that.
Bless Daniel Garcia. Hopefully they got a plan for that guy.
Yeah, I hope so. But other than that, there's not much else that happened that was really big. I mean, you're gonna do Will Ospreay and Lee Moriarty. Now we're gonna do Shane Taylor is next up for Will Ospreay. What are we doing with Will Ospreay? He's just going to win that title at Double or Nothing, huh? The international championship.
I think he's gonna tease going for the Storm Driver, and he's not gonna do it. Although I don't know why. He did it against Danielson, who has a fragile neck and head, and then Danielson was out for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then he comes back. He wrestles just fine on Saturday. He's gonna wrestle again on Wednesday. He's gonna wrestle in Anarchy in the arena. It's not like he ended the man's career or anything. He gave him a nice little vacation for 2 weeks. We should all be so lucky. So I don't know why Ospreay has so much hesitancy. Oh, I can't use the move. It almost injured Bryan Danielson. It did so much damage to Danielson. It didn't really do anything to Danielson. Honestly, I gave him 2 weeks to hang out, to take time off. Good. So, and that again, that's with his history of these injuries. You do it to somebody who's healthy, probably won't do anything to him. Kenny was a little fine. Kenny has some history with the like pretty banged up as well. So it feels like he should just start doing the move again.
This Bryan Danielson should walk up to Will Ospreay and just be like, "I'm okay. Do the move." And then let Ospreay be like, "All right, I'll do the move." And then that just psychs him out though. He's told to do the move, but what if he injures someone worse? Bryan Danielson is a robot. Not an ROH bot, but like a robot. He's actually he doesn't get hurt all that often like that. And he just has, but when he does, he's got superhuman recuperation. What if he does it to someone who's not like that? What if he just gets in his own head about it? And that's what costs him the match Double or Nothing.
Well, you don't know until you try it, so you should just do it.
That's what they should tease. He just keeps trying to do it, but he can't ever really do it. And then eventually he does do it, but he does to the wrong person.
Just, like, I get what they're trying to tell with that the injury and Ospreay has some type of remorse for doing it, and now he won't do it. It doesn't hit as well when Danielson just returns and is wrestling like normal and is completely fine. Is like, yeah, I'm going to do an Anarchy in the Arena match. It's like, oh, okay.
I don't know how I felt about them bringing out Bryan Danielson on Wednesday and then immediately being like, and he has a tag team match on Saturday. It was like, I felt like they could have played it, not should have, but they could have played it as, you know, is he okay? Is Danielson okay? Can he actually wrestle? Maybe he's going to wait. We're going to have to wait until Double or Nothing and blah, blah, blah. Stay tuned. Like, he wants to do this match. He's not fully cleared. He's going to work to get cleared in time for Double or Nothing. And then the question is, will he be cleared in time? It's 2 weeks away. Would you have had him wait it out and maybe play off the injury of being hit with the Tiger Driver? Or were you like, all right, fine, they're just bringing him back and he's going to be in a match because, you know, have a match that's somewhat close to his home state?
I mean, it just feels like it's Danielson, so you can just kind of get away with anything of like, yeah, fuck, Bryan Danielson's a maniac, so sure, it makes sense for him to do this. And like, it does. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm not going to complain about a Bryan Danielson match. Like, I get it, but I do think you could have maybe gotten a little bit more of selling the actual injury to Danielson off of this. And they didn't. They just went with what they went with on it. You know what was good was the Swerve stuff. Swerve just killing people again. And even Swerve kind of addressed, he's like, oh, you guys thought I went soft and everything. Like, no, we love Swerve because he was like a maniac. And now he's going back to that. So I did like that stuff. But the Danielson stuff is, I felt like you probably could have gotten a little bit more out of this devastating move that is sidelined Danielson. And now Will Ospreay has remorse. Even Ospreay, he teased going for the Storm Driver, and then he turned it into the Storm Breaker, and he just won with that. It's like, oh, okay. So instead of doing this move, he's just going to do a different move that he wins with. Like, cool.
Yeah, it's a good point. With at least with Bryan, I do appreciate that. Like I said earlier, they did pivot to Claudio having an issue with Bryan wanting to go all out and do Anarchy in the Arena. Like, at least there's some sort of story that's being told with the injury prone Bryan Danielson. And by injury prone, I mean he has had some injuries in the last few months that have kept him not at 100% wrapped up in kinesio tape. The Swerve stuff, though. Swerve loves them cinder blocks. That is Swerve's final.
We want cinder blocks.
That's the chant. We want cinder blocks. Clap, clap, clap. And when you had, was it Khan that was running all the way around the ring and then got loaded up with that cinder block?
Yeah.
Or was it Toa Leona? Either way, one of the Gates of Agony guys come running around. They do 3/4 around the ring, and Swerve just loads up a cinder block and shoves it in his stomach. I was laughing so hard at that spot. It was so stupid, but it was so right for Swerve.
Yeah. I love what they did with Swerve here. And then now we're going to get Swerve and Brian Cage. That's fine. It'd be a good match.
It was expected. You know, that was kind of it. And again, what are we, 2 weeks out from Double or Nothing? So we have two more episodes of Dynamite. I'm guessing that Swerve's not going to have another match between now and then. Or maybe they'll do a collision match with one member of Gates of Agony and then another Dynamite match with the other member of Gates of Agony. Honestly, I'd rather Swerve find a friend and do a tag match, but I don't know if there's really a point to doing that. But it just feels like this is a way to have Swerve do 3 matches going into Double or Nothing in a title match with Christian Cage, or just, in my opinion, do the cage match, make it look like the Brian Cage match, make it look good, make it look believable, and have Christian Cage do a contract signing the next week. Easy peasy.
Which they might go with. They don't need to overdo these contract signings, though. They already got the Willow and Mercedes contract signing this week, so Mercedes can bring up the stamp. So I don't need back-to-back contract signings here.
You know what? That's why I was thinking of contract signings, is because, yes, they announced the contract signing for Mercedes Moné and Willow, which typically triggers the main event of the show is the contract signer. Or signing, whatever. Again, there's 3 perfectly viable matches that could go on last at Double or Nothing. And every week I keep thinking to myself, I think it's Mercedes and Willow, but who knows? They've got Willow going to Japan next week to do the Stardom show. She's going to defend the TBS title against, was it Tam Nakano?
Yeah.
That's a pretty great match. I don't really, I expect a really good match. It's going to be one of those, Willow's going to win. That's fine. Think Mercedes shows up, or probably not.
She might. It's possible.
She loves Japan, does that Mercedes Moné.
She does. It's possible that she shows up off of that. I didn't really think about her possibly showing up. I just figured out Willow's going to win, and that's kind of that. But it would make sense to do that match so you can have a Mercedes appearance off of that. What'd you make of Christopher Daniels punking out the Young Bucks?
So dumb. I respect what they're trying to do. Christopher Daniels has been in wrestling for a very, very long time. They're playing up the respect factor, but making a match like this just screams, we need a beatdown segment to get heat on the Elite. Other than that, and especially because he picked Matt Sydal as his tag team partner, I'm like, well, that's a big one.
That was hilarious to me, by the way. It's like, you wanna talk down to me? I'll tell you what, I'm bringing Matt Sydal. And it's like, I get it. You guys you got history, your team, your friends and stuff, but like,
Matt Sydal is the guy that you call when Wheeler Yuta's injured and can't take the pin. That's what you do with Matt Sydal. And Matt Sydal just celebrated 20, 25 years in the business too. Like, he's up there. Don't get me wrong, respect to Matt Sydal, but there's no way that I'm going into this match thinking, what if they win? No, they'll probably do a very competitive, very flippy match, and it's going to be good and it's going to be fun and we're going to enjoy it. But like, at the end of the day, we know who's going to win, and it's going to heap heat on the Bucks and the Elite. Okay, fine. That's all it is. Like, it's a very quick story told. That's how I saw it. What do you think?
It was, I guess I had a little bit of an issue with Daniels just like getting in the face, and they're like shoving I forgot which one he shoved, but like really getting in their faces and shoving them. And I guess the repercussion is now you're going to be in a wrestling match against us. Felt like they should have just gone ahead and beat his ass down right there as well. That was the issue. I didn't feel very. The Bucks should feel just a little bit more threatening with the power that they have, and they're tough to take serious as a threat due to the size stature, which is fine. You can't overcome that, so you got to make them a threat in a different way. And so, like, the moment Daniels got in Matt's face, Nick should have just super kicked him and just been like, nah, this shit you're not doing this. That doesn't fly around here. Like, you want to get aggressive. Now we can do the wrestling match and stuff. But like, the moment you like talk back to them like that, should have been a beatdown right then and there. Like, kind of cowering to Christopher Daniels like that, and then just be like, oh boy, that was unexpected. Like, I don't know. Wasn't for me.
I love this idea. The Bucks should ban Christopher Daniels from the building after they beat him.
Fair.
take that shot and roll with it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do. There is a lot of history between the Bucks and Daniels that you could, like an SCU, that you can call back to, but then it's going to be on the announced team and on AEW to like make it more important than just, a passing line here and there. That's kind of the one thing that I think I go back to when it comes to the storytelling, is that I don't need you to hit me over the head with it with like a million video packages, but I think it's worthwhile to at least remind the viewer in a way that is a little more active than a couple of lines on commentary about why you should be more invested in this match than everything I just said, where I said like, yeah, listen, I know who's going to win, but like, what's the point? If you can get me invested by using the history of these two and make it a point of actual, like of thought and not an afterthought, then you can make a lot of these matches a lot more fun to people who aren't just like hardcore watching AEW every single week in every piece of content and living through it. That's fine. Those people you don't have to convince about how good this match is. There are other people who aren't watching as closely as those people who like could use the extra push here and there.
I assume they'll bring up the history of, hey, the Young Bucks ended SCU. Like the Young Bucks effectively ended Daniel's tag team, like his biggest tag team run, everything. Like that's a big point to hit on that. They'll hit that. They're not incompetent. If they don't, then I got more questions, but they'll hit on that stuff. So I'm not super worried about that. I'm just talking about the overall segment of Daniels just punking out both of these dudes, and it just felt like it shouldn't have. I guess on one hand, like it explains of, oh, see, these guys are chicken shit, and that like they're only going to beat up a guy like Tony Khan, somebody who can't fend for himself. Like I guess it explains it in that way. But when it's 2-on-1 like it was back there, Perry and Okada were back there. They just walked off, and I guess they went all the way down the hallway, because by the time Daniels walked up, Perry and Okada were nowhere to be found. Like I would have liked the numbers stuff, because you can still say you're chicken shit by utilizing the numbers advantage, but you're not looking just completely punked out and cowardly. But no offense to Christopher Daniels, but like it's Christopher Daniels in 2024. I don't think this is somebody you should be cowering to in the backstage when you can just take him out right then. Look, they might destroy Daniels on Wednesday. I hope they do. They really, really should. But that doesn't preclude them from doing it also in a way backstage. And I'm not saying they had to destroy him, just like one super kick. Just when Daniels gets in the face of Matt, Nick super kicks him. And then it's like, oh, you don't disrespect us like that. You don't get in our faces like that. You want to talk? We don't want to talk. We'll see you in the ring. And then you could still do the beatdown angle. You don't need to make Christopher Daniels look strong. You don't need to make Christopher Daniels look like this is the guy who's going to stand up to authority. Like, you just don't.
Did CD's eye heal up finally? I didn't notice.
I don't know if it ever like fully heals.
I know he said that he was like, it's not ever going to heal up, but like, I think was the red gone? Or maybe he said he's wearing contacts. I kind of hide it up now. Either way, I was just thinking about that. I was like, when I watched the promo, I don't remember his eye being like that red around it, where whatever happened to him in that match messed up his eye. But apparently he got okay. Say it took forever, but it seems like I guess it's okay now. Good for him. Listen, I'm glad that he's okay. Unless he's wearing the contact, at which point he's still okay. He's just working on it. People are saying it healed up, so that's good. We'll see what the match looks like on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll preview it on Wednesday as well. Is there anything else from AEW from the weekend that we need to really cover, or from New Japan? We kind of hit on the important stuff.
I don't think so. Feels like most of the stuff. Shout out to Gabe Kidd. I hope they actually do a whole lot with him in New Japan, and New Japan strong. Hopefully Eddie Kingston is good, and he's able to go with Anarchy in the arena. If not, I assume they've got some type of backup plan that they've been working on since Saturday, just in case. because it didn't look great. So you should probably, even if Eddie's good to go, have some type of backup plan.
It feels like they're trying to tease Claudio. And that was even before, or maybe they knew like Eddie wasn't 100% going into the match at Resurgence. So maybe they knew and they were just like, well, introduce Eddie on Wednesday and then see how he's feeling and blah, blah, blah. And now we're doing the Claudio tease. Maybe that's the beginning of it. Or maybe it's just like a totally separate story and happenstance can have Claudio step in if Eddie can't go and continue whatever story they had in place. At that point, you know, you're lucky you planned ahead or had something that kind of works together. I want to see Eddie as part of that match, but I also want Eddie to be healthy. So we can't have it both ways. We just want him to be okay.
I do like that. Like, this is the disconnect with Blackpool Combat Club. I love all these guys. But like the last time we saw Jon Moxley and Claudio for extended time on television, they were feuding with FTR for Revolution. And here's Danielson that's just like, yeah, sure, I'll team with you guys, even though my two stablemates hated you guys going into Revolution and we beat you. And now if Claudio comes in, it's like, sure, we'll team with you guys as well. Like, we respect and all this kind of stuff. I guess it's just all about respect and whatnot. But yeah, FTR and Blackpool Combat Club were not friends 3 months ago, or 2 months ago, really. Now it's just like, yeah, sure, we're cool now. Yeah, the elite, hating the elite is just gonna bring us together. Which fair.
It's kind of what you do. It feels like it's three old dudes being like, yeah, we'll just fight people. Doesn't matter what we're doing or what's going on. We'll just fight people. And that's
which
fine.
is like, you know, kind of been the thing of Blackpool Combat Club anyway. And I think is almost to a detriment been their thing of like, yeah, we're just gonna fight anybody. It's like you need some of these guys should just be, especially Danielson, should just be your top baby face. Jon Moxley should just maybe be your top baby face instead of like, hey, we'll face faces, we'll face heels. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. There should be a little bit more connective tissue there sometimes.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. Again, want to see Eddie join the team that he was put on Wednesday, but his health has to come first. And we'll see. I think, like I said, I think Claudio might be the guy to join. I think he'll be convinced to join despite not wanting to be a part of things, but he'll come in and be like, I'm going to be your protector, to the point where maybe he eats the pin. And that starts off whatever goes on between Claudio and Danielson, if that's where we're going with that. Claudio gets upset. Danielson won't listen. Blah, blah, blah. Have a match down the line. At Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream? No, that's September.
Wrestle Dream, that's October.
It's October. Yeah. You're right. I'm trying to think of what's coming up, and it's just it's
Double
Double or Nothing is first, and then Forbidden Door, and then Nothing in July, and then we're going to be doing All In, All Out. So
yeah,
who knows where it is? I still think are we still planning for Nigel and Brian at All In? Is that kind of where we're headed?
I feel like it.
The subtle teases are there, but we have a long time to get there. So we'll see if
they're not subtle. Well, Nigel is out here.
Yes, Nigel is out here doing what he's doing. But I'm saying, like, nobody has called the other man out on TV in a face-to-face encounter. Right. There's been no reason on TV to think, oh, this is definitely happening. There's definitely been a lot of like, oh, this could be happening or this should be happening. But nothing has been like, oh, it's happening for sure now. That's where I'm going.
Look, King Potato, I've been saying Danielson should be winning all the damn time.
What's your finish?
Nonsense. It's nonsense that he loses as much as he does. Absolute nonsense.
It's true. Anyway, someone's got to lose tonight. King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. That's all on the Raw preview. I don't know if you have. Did you have anything else on that Raw preview other than those 4 matches that are listed?
I hope we get a very long talking segment with the Judgment Day so Damian Priest can explain that the Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw,
and then
he is
the part of it.
I guess he's the world champion, and then he runs Monday nights. I hope we get that very well established tonight on Raw. On Raw, I feel like the matches are going to get some time, right? Like Kofi and Gunther should get some time. Jay and Dragunov should get some time. The
Baszler
women's
and
matches
should be fun.
Yeah, like I feel like
we've seen it before. Shayna Baszler and Io. By the way, they are absolutely going to do that Karafuda clutch roll through finish that Kyrie and Shayna used to do. They're going to do it. It's going to happen. It's not going to be the finish of the match, but they'll do the tease as a near fall. And Valkyria and Stark is going to be a solid match.
Yeah, and Becky's in action. I don't know who she's facing, but she'll beat somebody, I guess. Like, I don't know. What
who should she face tonight? Maxine Dupree? No, part of me serious because she did that whole like, you should be happy with yourself. I'm going to give you a shot now because you've been doing your best. You came in on short notice. I don't know whose accent I'm doing. You came in on short notice, and you deserve a title shot because you did that. It could be that easy.
Sure, that's fine.
Someone saying Kiana James. There you go. It should be Fallon Henley and her new Lulu Bell gimmick, whatever that was supposed to be.
Is she like actually facing Kiana James? Because or we just
people have now said Kiana James.
Throwing this out there.
Are people just saying this? I mean, it would make sense. She did get drafted.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was announced. And on the WWE.com preview, it's not there. They just have the King and Queen of the Ring matches. They don't even see Becky's in action, but that was what was stated on SmackDown. So I know if I missed it, it was announced. Oh, yeah.
Becky, no, it's not there.
Oh, just a guess. Okay.
People are just guessing.
All right. Fair.
All right. Yeah, a lot of people are just saying it's her. It could be her. It could be somebody else.
They got an hour and a half to entertain me because at 9:30, Stupid Sports is on, and I'll be in my feelings about that.
Well, don't be in your feelings on Wednesday because we will be back 10 a.m. Eastern. You can be in your feelings about Monday Night Raw. How's that?
No, I'm not watching this nonsense.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Anything you want to plug before we get on out of here?
Watch our interview with Billy Corgan that goes up later on today.
It's 10 minutes. If you don't have 10 minutes, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Easy. Go watch the Nyla Rose interview. Nyla Rose and Nyla Rose's mother, along with the Indeed gang. And that's it. So go watch Wrestling Made Me Cry. Go watch everything on this channel. Why not? Tell your friends about In the Weeds. Better than Busted Open. I swear we are. They just have 15 years on us. That's all. But
and an interview with The Undertaker.
Where's our interview with The Undertaker?
Think we can get the interview with The Undertaker?
I am going to, when I'm at Money in the Bank doing press, I'm going to speak to WWE PR and be like, hey, I need you to know about my morning show. And then they'll be like, no, we know about it. That's why we don't give you anyone to talk to. And we'll be like, understood. And that will be that. But we're going to stick around, okay? We'll be back Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Till then, for Jeremy Lambert, I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPARL, ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one.